Okay, Lee, what have you seen this week?
Well, aside from being trolled on YouTube, I have seen a new word.
A new word. We like a new word. Go ahead.
Menowashing.
Oh, God. That sounds so grim. I think I know what it is, but go on.
Yeah, I get it. It's coming from like greenwashing, wellness washing, keeping on that trend, menowashing. But it just sounds a little bit odd. If you haven't heard of it, menowashing refers to the practice of brands slapping the word menopause on products to cash in on the increasing demand, often without much science to back up their claims. So this is according to Cathy Abernethy, who you may remember, who has been on the show.
We love Cathy.
Cathy was extraordinary. She is a leading menopause specialist with more than 25 years of clinical experience. And as I said, a previous guest, she weighed in on the issue in a very brilliantly written article in The Telegraph.
Cathy, how the hell do we get in The Telegraph? Email us.
Not about you, Al. It's about Cathy. Honestly, get to the guest, guys. What is wonderful, and I know Cathy agrees, is that menopause is now part of the conversation, in particular in the last 5 years. So that's wonderful. But that does mean that more and more products are hitting the shelves claiming to ease menopausal symptoms. But we have to ask the question, are they really worth it, or are we being exploited by clever marketing people, Al? I can't wait to hear your opinion on this one. Let's run through some of the menopause-related products that are trending right now. First one, and I actually had to double check that this one was right because it sounded like a joke, but apparently not. Menopause-friendly chocolate. Yeah, so Holland and Barrett apparently have been selling menopause almonds, which are essentially chocolate-covered almonds marketed as a mood booster during menopause. Unsurprisingly, Cathy wasn't very impressed by this. She sees this as a prime example of menowashing, calling it patronising and profiteering. Yes, chocolate can lift your mood, and depending on the type of chocolate, it has been shown to have lots of other health benefits, but we don't really need an overpriced branded almond, I don't think, to get that benefit. So Cathy's advice, skip the gimmicks and focus on a balanced diet with plenty of calcium, and a Mediterranean approach apparently is particularly beneficial during menopause. Next, the booming supplement industry. So the global menopause supplement market is expected to hit $22.7 billion by 2028.
Can I just ask, when they do predictions like that, 22.7 billion, why bother doing 0.7? Because it's what? It's 4 years ago, 4 years away. You might as well just go 22 billion. Anyway.
Or round up.
Round up. 20, right? Yeah. Almost 23 billion.
But yes, Cathy warns that not all supplements are created equal. I think we all know at this point that vitamin D is very good for us. I think it found its place during the pandemic, essential with bone health. I believe it boosts your immunity as well. But other supplements that have been marketed as menopause specific often lack scientific backing. So again, Cathy urges women to be cautious and do their homework. Don't just fall for the marketing hype. And finally, skincare. Menopause is a bitch. Menopause also causes our skin to become drier and lose collagen, which is something that make it nice and plump and puffy. Many women, of course, reach for those labels specifically for aging skin or menopausal skin. But as Cathy points out, many of these products have been around for years under labels such as mature, anti-wrinkle. Her tip is to actually look at what works for your skin. And if you do one thing, wear SPF every day. In terms of Cathy's article, I thought it was really brilliantly written and actually brings a really important point to what we're hearing in the conversation around menopause, which, as I said, the conversation is great, but with that comes lots of misinformation. Cathy's final word on that is to be cautious around things we see on social media. She admits that celebrities are doing a great job of raising awareness, but they are not always experts. It is easy to get caught up in trends promoted by influence. She advises sticking to advice from qualified professionals. Social media can be a great tool, but it's not a substitute for real medical guidance, which includes this podcast as well. And with that, anything else where influencers might be, such as people and culture. So overall, I think it's a really interesting conversation we're seeing, and I'm pleased to see this angle coming from Cathy. Our thoughts?
Yeah, anything Cathy says, I'm on board with. She knows what she's talking about. from the marketing entrepreneurial angle, I can kind of see why you might want to do. I mean, like we have 2 dogs. They're both street dogs. We adopted them both. But then we have a specific type of food for one and a specific type of food for the other. I'm pretty sure it's the same stuff, just in a different shape.
Yeah, if you are new to this conversation, if you are like me and you're in your late 30s, quickly approaching 40, I will leave a link to, we did an episode probably about a year ago on like an introduction to women's health, which included Cathy and 2 other extraordinary guests as well. I will leave a link to that in the show notes. A really good place to start, where you can find an expert who is also an influencer, which is what we like. Al, what have you seen?